County Kerry in Ireland. We'll call ourselves Kerry. So, in fact, when he got to Massachusetts, which was full of Irish people, they all thought he was from County Kerry in Ireland, when in fact his dad is a Cohen. And that's the way, you didn't know that?
No.
Oh, of course they don't know it. He doesn't advertise that. He claims he didn't know it himself. I don't believe him. I think he's a bloody liar. I'm sure he's a liar. I mean, Bush is a liar, we know, but see, he never gets tagged as a liar. Kerry doesn't. He's Mr. Saint. But he's as bad as Bush, let me tell you, in terms of lying. Maybe worse, because Bush is dumb and he isn't. So I think the people who have some brain are actually more blamable than people who are just stupid. I think many of Bush's lies are like sort of bumble lies, like he stumbles into it. That doesn't mean he's a saint, I would agree. But I'm more frightened of people who have a brain and lie than I am of people who are stupid. So anyway, that's kind of frightening. I would really cut the cake. We don't have any Abraham Lincolns walking around, I'll tell you that. And Mr. Wilkes Booth really did us a disservice when he removed that. The last best great president that we had, and we've been stumbling along pretty much blind man's bluff ever since. But we certainly don't have any saints running around in these days. Clinton we all thought was a saint, but then it turned out he was a sinner. So anyway, to get back to Cohen's, I didn't mean to out Kerry out of the closet for you. I don't mean to upset anybody here, but. He's a Catholic, didn't you know, Karen? He goes to church and everything like that, takes Mass and all these things. Yeah. So is Madeleine Albright, you know, she is too. Really dig into her background, she's also Jewish. And there's a lot of those folks walking around. Some admit...
Zionist plot.
Huh?
It's a Zionist plot.
Oh yeah, well I wouldn't say that. These are unconscious Zionists if it's a plot. The protocols of the elders of Zion, genealogically speaking. No, these are the backsliders. These are the ones I would more trust them if they would come out and admit who and what they are, rather than hide it even from themselves. And we have a lot of. There's another one. There's a third one, all from that area. How many saw that movie Sunshine? That's a great movie, and it's about Czechoslovakia in the time of the beginning of the First World War and through the coming of the communists, and how people hid their identity there and converted in order to get ahead in society because they had to in order to get a job. All these people like Kerry, Madeleine Albright, they all come from there. All their families come from there, and that's what they were doing.
Didn't you tell some people who don't know Washington Post the same thing?
I didn't tell you anything about that. I don't know them, but I can't say. The New York Times or that, but I don't know about the Washington Post. In any case, the New York Times from high. But off the subject though, that movie is really great. You have a chance to rent it. It's a beautiful, beautiful movie about that whole thing. And it ends with the person taking their name back after the Holocaust, after the Germans, after the communists, and going into the registration bureau and saying, I want to be called Sonnenschein again, which was sunshine in English. And I want and the person, why do you want that back? Why do you want your family name back? I want my family name back. And to honor my ancestors, as it were. But it's really it's really great. One of the best movies I've ever seen, actually, in terms of history and illuminating a certain period. So when you see that, you'll know something about these people. There is a third one. That guy, Cohn, who was the senator from Maine, who became the defense minister, he also was a Catholic. He's a Catholic. So all these are Cohens who have backslid in some way and become something else. And there's a lot of other ones out there running around. And of course, your Levi trousers and all the other things. So that's one tribe. You got me off the subject. So that's one tribe that doesn't seem to be apportioned. So it depends how many tribes were left. The South was considered to be composed of Judah and Simeon. But we never hear about Simeon at all. So, I mean, it's basically two tribes left, Judah and Levites. Cohen's being Levites. That's my basic answer. And, you know, as the northern tribes were carried away, then we get into only the Judeans, or Judea. So when Jesus comes, he's a king of Judea. These are Judeans. from the word Judah, Yehuda, Yahud, Jude, in English Jew. So that is the last group, and that's after the Babylonian captivity. So after the Babylonian captivity, then, after they cart away these people after the fall of the temple in 600 or so, they function there till about 540, when Isaiah, the second part, is writing, and he greets the new Messiah. Who is the new Messiah? Cyrus, and he calls him. Cyrus says, apparently the Jews are coming to him with a book like Isaiah and saying to Cyrus, look, we predicted your coming, our God leveled the way for you. It was our God who gave you the strength to destroy the Babylonians. It was our God who made your coming. The same as Josephus does to Vespasian. This is always the thing to do to credulous people, though I think Cyrus is smarter than Vespasian. In any case, Cyrus is called, in Hebrew, what? Koresh. And I said in my other class, you've heard of David Koresh? He read his Bible, and the reason he took the name Koresh is he knew that Cyrus was the Messiah of the Old Testament. And he knew that Isaiah had said, Cyrus, my Messiah, you shall accomplish my whole purpose. Cyrus, my anointed one, you shall accomplish my whole purpose. In Hebrew, Koresh, my Mashiach, you will accomplish my whole purpose. So David Koresh, being a smart guy, a pretty cool guy, and knowing, what these things implied, adopted the name. I don't know if his name was even David, I think it was, but it may not have been David, but took a last name of Koresh, implying that he was the Messiah from Isaiah. And it doesn't tell you a lot, but it tells you how these things function. In any case, that is an actual historical picture of the Jews returning. Because what Cyrus says, and I say of the towns of Judah, let them be inhabited. And I say of the temple, let it be rebuilt. And he's quoted as saying that at that moment. And I think that is written by eyewitness people. Actually heard him say that, like he would go before the great king, give him a petition, and then he would give his pronouncement. And his pronouncement was, and I say of the towns of Judah, let them be inhabited. And I say of the temple, you people say, as predicted me, let it be rebuilt. And that's it. That's the return. That's what Isaiah is celebrating. I know that turns into the Hallelujah chorus and the celebration of Jesus Christ, but if you read Isaiah carefully, I did it in my last class and I want to board this class too, you'll find Isaiah is celebrating the return of the Jewish people from captivity after Cyrus's warrant to return. Comfort ye my people. I know that that's reinterpreted 500-600 years later and ever after as meaning the